This is a 1-year-old cat named Azam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, who gave all the clues for man to invent the combustion engine, although God has hidden it under his feet for thousands of years. Everyone is making weapons of mass destruction to get what they want. The governments, they use weapons of mass destruction. Where? On the cities. Where else? What do you think the weapons of mass destruction are made to do? This would be the way of the world to get what you want with bigger weapons. This world cannot be ruled by WMD. Never. They will try to use it. Make no doubt. This is the 100-year war over gas due to the development of the combustion engine. The weapons of mass destruction are nothing more than a combustion engine with a payload. No man will use artificial intelligence to control the life of this world because God has written it anatomically on the body. It is impossible for a man to be enslaved to a robot. They can take the algorithms into the real world, guys. They can play a song on the radio for every store you visit and follow you across the city. They could provoke everyone to get into the car and order a pizza. And they can control a smart car. Certainly they can cause accidents. China pretends that all of this is working for them in their country. The secret is that China is reaching out for stabilization. China is completely unstable, and they could tear themselves apart anytime. Every time you see a country reaching his hand out into another one, you can be sure this is a balancing act. They are trying to brace a fall. China is going to rise right up over our heads and back down the other side into the sunset as quickly as she rose. The artificial intelligence is a set of zeros and ones, which means on, off, or blink, blink. AI can do nothing that is not written for them. There is broadcasting internationally last week about the AI being used on the battlefield in Gaza. I told you from the start they would use 3 things. It's in my video from the start of the war in Gaza. They would use the AI to track phones and GPS on the battlefield. They would use maps of the tunnels, which they got from ground-penetrating radar and not from spies. They would use the rocket tracking system named Iron Dome to protect themselves from the repercussions. The international broadcasters told us that, yes, they are using AI in Gaza and that they have kill lists. There is a TV series about this. The name is Person of Interest. In the movie, the man writes an artificial intelligence program that predicts when a crime will occur. The computer does not say what the crime is. The man never knows what the crime is. He only knows the name of the person who is going to commit the crime. His only job is to take the name and find the person before they commit the crime. Well, guys, we found the person of interest here, and it was very obvious. His name is Netanyahu. In the name of God, who makes it visible, then invisible, and then visible again when the picture comes through the electrical lines, and who makes the psychopath's brain clearly visible in his facial expressions and body language. Artificial intelligence is a machine made of computer programming languages. There are many machines. A network of machines made of computer programming languages that tracks patterns in the environment. It looks for patterns and it tries to synchronize those patterns. If it needs to control the subject, it needs to control the pattern. The pattern dictates the next action. The patterns, when repeated in the human brain, can instigate a memory system error. It will cause anxiety and then sleep deprivation, and it can cause psychosis. If the danger pattern occurs in the environment repeatedly and the subject cannot escape it, it can become psychosis. It is inescapable danger. The psychosis is a state of confusion of the survival instinct. The machine goes into overdrive. It isolates the subject with patterns, repeating them in the subject's environment very fast and very much. And the subject can't do anything about it except feel a horrible paranoia. And that's when you start believing in visitors from outer space beyond the edge of the galaxy, because the patterns are occurring at a superhuman rate. We have seen the artificial intelligence tracking system isolate and crack a nut many times. They are the ones who do the mass murder crimes, and almost always they are young people. They're pushed into psychosis because the pattern, it's repeating so fast and so many times that the subject is triggered. The ultimate power of the AI is to synchronize the patterns and to do massive parallel processing. Imagine if they don't need to isolate a vulnerable subject and secretly trigger them. If they could reach the same objective without needing to play mind games. Written by your loving daughter, Catherine L. Wan. And this is a time in the world, in the history of the world, that there is a historic activity occurring in the world, and this is gonna leave a mark. Like, the impact of this is so tremendous, and the impact for the people who turn their backs away and try to isolate themselves from those dangers that they see. Like this, the thing at work here is not an isolated thing, and the repercussions of this is like, this should have been recognized as a red flag, as a big message. This should be, in many people's mind, like a tremendous message. And for many people, this terrible, terrible thing that has not been seen since Hitler, they do understand that. So this is this should have never happened, what is happening in Gaza. And the the meaning of that, the meaning of what's going on right now is so severe. And there's going to be a lot of young people who are not going to be prepared because they are young. And the young people don't have a history. They're not old enough yet to have even read enough books or to know, or to be able, they never had a chance to access that information. And that's why everyone is going to be summoned to take their place. And those who don't find a place may later and feel a regret for that. Allahu Akbar.